Imagine a woman who lived her entire life in a small New England town, rarely leaving her family home, yet whose words would ripple across the centuries, reshaping how we think about poetry, life, and death. This is the story of Emily Dickinson, the reclusive genius whose quiet life belied a ferocious inner world of creativity. Born on December 10, 1830, in Amherst, Massachusetts, Emily Dickinson was the middle child of Edward Dickinson, a prominent lawyer and politician, and Emily Norcross Dickinson, a gentle, devout woman devoted to her family. Emily's early life was marked by the rhythms of a close-knit household and the structured, pious environment of New England. Despite, or perhaps because of, the relative isolation of her upbringing, Dickinson's mind was fertile ground for imagination. From an early age, Emily showed a remarkable talent for language and literature. She attended Amherst Academy, where she excelled in Latin, French, and literature, displaying a precocious intellect. Later, she briefly enrolled at Mount Holyoke Female Seminary in 1847, though she returned home after a single year. Scholars have long speculated about the reasons for her departure, ranging from health concerns to discomfort with the strict religious environment. Whatever the cause, her home in Amherst would become the center of her universe and the incubator for her extraordinary poetic voice. Emily Dickinson's poetry is remarkable not just for its depth, but for its style. In a time when elaborate rhyme and meter dominated American verse, Dickinson's work broke conventions. She employed short lines, slant rhyme, unconventional punctuation, and dashes that created a sense of immediacy and intimacy. Nature, death, immortality, love, and the inner life were frequent subjects, yet she approached them with a precision and intensity that made the ordinary seem extraordinary. Her first poem, penned in her teenage years, already hinted at the originality that would define her work. Yet Dickinson's genius remained largely private. She sent poems to friends, corresponded with editors, and even shared some with her sister-in-law, Susan Gilbert Dickinson, but she published very little during her lifetime. Fewer than a dozen poems appeared in print, often anonymously, and edited to fit conventional norms. One of the most fascinating aspects of Emily Dickinson's life is her reclusiveness. By the 1860s, she rarely left her home, interacting mostly with family and close neighbors. Some scholars have attributed this to physical or psychological ailments, while others suggest it was a conscious choice to devote herself to poetry and introspection. Despite, or perhaps because of her seclusion, Dickinson's correspondence flourished. Letters became a medium for connection, playfulness, and philosophical exploration, allowing her to maintain a network of intellectual exchange even from her bedroom. Dickinson's poetry often grappled with death, a theme intimately familiar in 19th century America, where disease and mortality were omnipresent. Yet she approached it not with despair, but with curiosity, and at times wit. Poems like "Because I Could Not Stop for Death" personified death as a patient companion, a guide through a journey both inevitable and mysterious. Similarly, her explorations of immortality, as in "I Felt a Funeral in My Brain," reflect a mind endlessly probing the boundaries of existence. Another central theme in Dickinson's work is nature. Unlike the grand, pastoral landscapes of some of her contemporaries, Dickinson's observations were intimate and precise. The flight of a bird, the blooming of a flower, the chill of a frost. These small details became portals to profound reflection, revealing her ability to see the extraordinary in the everyday. Despite her reclusiveness, Dickinson was not isolated from intellectual life. She read widely, immersing herself in the works of Shakespeare, the Bible, classical literature, and contemporary poetry. Her family's social standing and her father's connections provided access to books and ideas, enabling her to engage with currents of thought far beyond Amherst. Emily Dickinson died on May 15, 1886, at the age of 55. Her passing marked the end of a life largely hidden from public view, but it also set the stage for her posthumous fame. After her death, her sister Lavinia discovered hundreds of poems, carefully bound in hand-sewn fascicles. Lavinia, recognizing their significance, sought to share Emily's work with the world. The first collection, edited by Thomas Wentworth Higginson and Mabel Loomis Todd, appeared in 1890. Although heavily edited to conform to 19th century norms, it introduced readers to a voice that was unmistakably original. Over time, scholars restored Dickinson's punctuation, capitalization, and line breaks, revealing the full artistry of her work. Today, Emily Dickinson is celebrated as one of America's greatest poets, a visionary who challenged conventions, delved into the mysteries of existence, and transformed the possibilities of poetic expression. Her influence extends far beyond literature, shaping modern ideas of individuality, introspection, and the power of language to capture the subtleties of human experience. Emily Dickinson's life reminds us that creativity does not always require public acclaim or grand stages. Sometimes the most profound contributions emerge from quiet observation, relentless curiosity, and the courage to follow one's own voice. Her bedroom in Amherst became a crucible for imagination, a place where words were forged with precision, passion, and daring. In a sense, every time we open a Dickinson poem, we step into that room, sharing in her reflections on life, death, and the enduring mysteries that surround us. So next time you encounter a poem about a bird, a frost, or a funeral in the brain, remember, you are hearing the voice of a woman who transformed seclusion into a vast landscape of thought, a mind that measured the immeasurable, and a poet whose words continue to resonate across time. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the life and mind of Emily Dickinson, a poet who proves that even in the quietest corners, genius can flourish.